Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Talia, and if we haven't met, I'm a mentor coach for women looking to up-level their lives. We're into all sorts of stuff like creating the dream life you want, enhancing your intuition, enhancing your mind-body connection, and just really getting into the universal flow instead of feeling alone and pushing and striving and resistance and not good feelings. We're moving into the best feeling life possible. So welcome today. Today I'm talking about something I am extremely passionate about. And it's something that, to be really honest, it's really hard to sum up how important today's topic is, which is self-love. And the biggest misconception with self-love is that it's bubble bath and indulging in, cookies and massages and spa days, and all that stuff can be self-love. But that's not what self-love is at the center of it. So today I really hope to bring you some inspiration about what self-love truly is, what it looks like, how you can move into it, and why it's the key missing ingredient. It's the most potent element for success in your life. And this isn't just success like money and status and all this stuff. I mean inner happiness, finding that place where you feel content and feel like life is going amazingly. Self-love is the missing ingredient. And today I'm here to show you the different elements, the aspects of self-love, and how important it really is. So let's just launch right in. First of all, let me know if you're here. If you're popping on, say hi. If you're watching the replay or if you're joining me live. So the very first thing is I'm just going to cut straight to it. One reason, I would say the reason why self-love is so important is if you break it down, it's loving yourself. Obviously, that's not the meat and potatoes of what I'm talking about. Newsflash: self-love is loving yourself. So when we love ourselves, we act in line with that. So if you love your dog, you act in line with loving your dog. You have its back, you feed it, you take it for walks, you snuggle it, and you talk nice to it. It's the same with us. When you love somebody, a friend, a family member, your mate, your spouse, you just naturally act different towards them than if it's somebody that you don't love. Because love is an emotion from the heart. Love is something that you cannot measure, but you can feel. You know you can feel love. So when you start to turn what love is, the core of what love is, which is compassion and understanding and togetherness and support, when you take the center of what love is and apply that on yourself, what it does is it starts to wake up who you truly are. And so instead of having to heal all the things that have gone wrong or uncover all the layers of who we are, if we go at it with self-love, it's actually a shortcut, a direct path to the person that we truly are, because we start to give ourselves the signal and the message that we are okay, that we are worth it. We start to have esteem for ourselves, and it is so important. The thing I also feel that I really want to say is no matter what your path has been, no matter how much trauma you've been through or people telling you you're not good enough, examples that were shown, maybe abuse or exclusion, you've always felt on the outside or like a lone wolf, that's other people's shit rubbing off on you. That's other people's judgments and stuff. That's other people's not okayness projected onto you. So that's one thing I just first of all want to clear the space. I was bullied heavily. I had influences in my life that I really did take away from. I'm obviously not good enough and I need to not be me. Nobody's going to like me for who I am. I'm too this, I'm too that. I had those because of the way that the outside world treated me. Some of it was repetitive several times. Some of it was one or two instances that really messed me up inside and had me just see clearly that I was not good enough. I didn't look like them. I didn't fit in this way. I had a weird sense of humor. My hair's curly and weird. I repetitively learned I wasn't good enough. Along with, I have mentioned before, bullying. One time that police were involved, it was so serious. And at the time in my life, I was really insecure, and my peer approval really meant a lot to me at that time. And that's when it happened. So some of the fundamental parts of us growing and learning that we're enough, and when we look at something like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, what Maslow created way back when is at certain times in our life, we are looking for approval and basically looking to feel safe from different avenues. So when we're first born, the way that we have our first needs met is food and shelter. When we're a baby, it's food and shelter. That's where our needs are met, and that's where they come from. And as we grow, when they're toddlers, then it's all mommy and daddy. They want to know that, like, I'm doing okay, right? I'm okay, right? And if your parents weren't available to teach you that at the time, or you got other influences telling you weren't okay that young, it messes up your needs. Your basic fundamental needs are not being met, and you learn that you're not safe. This translates into thinking you're not good enough. So as we move through time, when we're early teenagers, like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, where we're looking for approval is our peers and our outside world. And that's why teenagers are like, Mom, you can't hold my hand, or you can't drive me to school. I remember friends making their parents drop them off blocks from their high school because they didn't want to see with their parents. And that's because at that time, according to Maslow, our needs and our worth and everything that we're looking for approval is with our peers. So for me, that's when I was bullied, and that's when other peers turned against me, and I was called fat, and things were thrown at me and all this. I had loving parents, thankfully, but it did not help, or I should say it did not protect me from not feeling good enough. So that's the first thing I want to say is, no matter what you've been through, just remember that it's other people's stuff. When I look back at that girl who bullied me, I can clearly see now that she never learned that she was okay. She had a dysfunctional situation at home, and she was never taught how to love, how to be relaxed, how to not dominate. So I can see clearly now that if somebody at that age is bullying somebody so severely that the police are involved, it's obviously a reflection of what's going on in that girl's life. And I can see that now, but at the time I couldn't. So that's the first thing I'm going to invite you to just consider, is that no matter how much you've been shown it in your life, whether you're being shown it now by somebody close to you, you're being, some sort of bullied or manipulated, or, things are not going right, just learn and know that it's more about them than it is about you. And the best thing you can do is learn to love yourself. So I'm just going to get in quickly to the types of things that self-love does. And if you're like me, I didn't know what I was missing. I knew I should love myself because we should love ourselves, but I didn't get the full impact of how powerful and how healing self-love is until I had it. And now it's something I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with you guys seeing it, my clients feeling it, because I didn't know I was missing it. And I didn't know the multifaceted layers of what self-love really is. So just quickly, I'm going to run over what are the types of ways that self-love impacts your life. Self-love is the thing that allows you to try new things. Because when we're insecure, we're closed off, we shut things down because it's like, I could never ski, or I could never do this. But when we learn to love ourselves, we actually start trying new things because we're curious. We want to enhance our life because we're coming from a place of love and okayness. So we try new things. It starts to unlock potentials that are within us. So if you're somebody that's always desired to help people, or sell your paintings, or volunteer at the SPCA, or have children, or volunteer at your children's school, or whatever it is that things you want to do, you're going to do them when you love yourself. When you're not loving yourself and your energy is in, I'm not good enough, you're in constantly overwhelmed and not really in the space to put yourself out there. So you're not going to unlock that potential within you to affect the rest of us. The potential you have within you to share your gift and help others won't come out if you're not fully loving yourself and really getting down with what self-love is. So the other thing is, you'll stop punishing yourself. You won't need the self-sabotage and the coping and the cycles that are really a form of punishment, whether it's drugs or alcohol or unhealthy compulsions or something that just really doesn't feel good that you're stuck in. As you learn to love yourself, these things dissolve and they dissolve quickly, which is so fun for me to see with my clients and for you to experience firsthand. Is it dissolves quickly. Love is the most powerful force in this world. It's way more powerful than fear. So know that as you start to incorporate little acts of self-love, which I'm going to go over, how do we actually move into this? I'm going to go over that after this. As you start to do that, you will notice things start to change quickly. And that's what I'm here for you. That's what I'm here for you and what I'm excited for you to see. So more things that self-love does. Self-love changes your posture. When I'm feeling good, I'm more likely to be standing up straight, which actually instantly gives you a bit of a confidence boost. I put on a workshop last night, and if I was standing at the front saying, welcome everybody, I'm so glad you're here, or if I'm standing at the front saying like, hey guys, welcome, hopefully you like this, if you don't, it's okay. It has a different vibe. So when I am in love with myself and when we start acting in love, our posture changes, which can affect things like back pain and hip pain and flexibility and overall confidence. So that's another incredible impact of self-love. And one of the things that it really gets you to do is instantly you feel good. When you do something that makes you feel good and you're in love with yourself, you're taking care of yourself, you're nurturing yourself, even one act, you just start feeling good. And that is why we're here. That is why we want the money. That is why we want the weight loss, the relationships, things to work, is because we want to feel good. We want relief from our fears and our struggles and our guilt and our shame and our past. We want to just feel good. We want to go to our happy place where there's not a care in the world and we feel like life right now is just great. That's what we're looking for. So in the moment that you choose self-love, you are instantly rewarded with a good feeling. And you realize that feeling good feels good. And you start to get into the momentum of what self-love does. And that shit changes your life. That changes your life. Self-love is powerful. So the other thing that it does, there's so many things, but it changes your choices. So if we're looking at things like food choices or who to hang out with or what to do on the weekend or should we go on this trip or should we go on that trip, when you're in a place of self-love, your choices are different because you're thinking of it like, what would be best for me? What would be the most fun? What would be the most exciting? What would feel the most fulfilling? Those are the type of things that are motivating your choices. Whereas when you're not in love, what is happening is you're more like, oh, what is less expensive? Or, I don't know if I can get the time off. Maybe we shouldn't go at all. Or, maybe, what if this? Or it's like our choices are more stress filled. So if it's to do with food or exercise, it's like, let's just get her done. Or what should I do? I should do the boot camp, even though my heart wants to be on a bike or wants to be swimming in the ocean or wants to go for a hike. But you'll think, what should I do? What'll make me the least fat right now? It's like our language changes. Instead of what would feel good, what would be healthy for me, what would feel nice, we go, what's going to get us the fastest results because we have a wedding coming up and we feel less than okay right now. So it's like a desperate choice. It's like, what will fucking fix me? Instead of what would feel good. So you can feel the energy change in that. Sorry for the profanities, but that's just how it rolls with me when I get passionate. You all know that by now. So we choose different things. Our habits are different. The things we do with our time reflect love. And that doesn't mean that we just sit around all day in a bubble bath. It means that we're making choices from love. So let me give you a real life example here. I used to get really, really overwhelmed with dishes and laundry. I have 2 small kids and a husband, and we have a couple bathrooms, and there's so much to do. There's so much laundry, there's cleaning, dishes all the time. And I used to get so stressed, almost like I was the victim to my house or something. When you think about it, it's kind of funny. But I get so stressed. And one day I realized that I am so blessed that I have enough food, that I have so many dishes. And I'm so blessed that I have a washer and dryer and so many clothes that my kids have more than enough clothes to to cover them every day of the week. That's why we have so much laundry. I'm so blessed that we have 2 bathrooms, which results in more towels. I just am blessed. And I think when I'm not in a place of self-love, when I'm not in a place of looking at what's good about myself, about the world, about what I'm capable of and the life I'm living, I'm more likely to be a victim to the stuff that's just life. So when I have it in me to learn to look at the things inside myself that are sometimes hard to look at, the things within myself that I desire to change, instead of looking at them like I'm not worth it, or I'm gross, or I need to change, or I'm weak, or I'm dumb, or I'm not enough, when I look at it like, okay, there's something that's not serving me that's within myself. That behavior, the way I dealt with that, is not the way I want to deal with things. So it's not about me and my worth. I'm just going to look at how I can actually change that, because this isn't working for me. So when I can look at myself like that, I'm more likely to look at the world like that, which comes back to the laundries and the dishes. I'm more likely to go, where's the good? Where's the silver lining in this problem? So as we start to look at where the silver linings are within you, where the silver linings are within your problems, what you can control, what you can change, what is great about you, what are your unique gifts? How have your struggles changed who you are? When we look at life like that, we look at yourself like that, everything just changes. Wayne Dyer's famous for saying, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And yeah, that sounds big and inspiring and lofty, but it's really true. If you start looking at the way things are in a different way, then everything just ends up looking different. So if you start to look at yourself in a positive light, what you have to offer this world, the things you have done, the things that you know that you truly are inside, you will awaken parts of you that have not been able to come out yet. And that's really why self-love changes your life. It changes your habits, and like I mentioned, your posture. The other thing that happens when we start to focus on self-love, and this is great, is, hey Veronica, I see you're watching and you know this, as we start to focus on self-love, the things that aren't working in our life all of a sudden become way more obvious. So if I'm really working on loving myself, looking at myself in the mirror and going, you're doing a great job, look at you, you've had 2 children, your body's, healthy and flexible, good job. If I can look at myself like that, even though there's parts of me that goes, you're not good enough, or you're still not, this skinny or whatever, I can listen to those voices, which leads me down a bad feeling way. Or as I start to focus on what's good about myself, what I love about myself, where I'm worthy enough, looking for where's worthy, when I have the negative self-talks, they stick out like a sore thumb. When I do something and I think, why did you do that? Or that was dumb, I hear it and I'm like, whoa, that's obvious. Whereas I used to live in that. So that's a gift that self-love gives you, is actually a better perspective on what's not working. It's like when you surround yourself with great people and you have great friends that you align with, even if it's 1 or 2 of them, if you have a group of people that you align with, you feel comfy with, when that person comes into the social circle that's not like the rest of you, that's loud and aggressive and maybe mean and judgmental, they stick out like a sore thumb, because it's like, whoa, I'm used to the good vibes. That bad vibe sticks out like a sore thumb. So that's another thing that self-love does, is it starts to show us where we can have more of it, show us who in our life is aligned with love and who isn't, and what thoughts are aligned with love and what isn't, and what acts are aligned with love and what's not. We get a better perspective on that. And that means that dysfunction fades out of our life. Relationships that are dysfunctional fade, change, shift, are dysfunctional habits. And I don't mean dysfunctional as in like it's bad. I just mean the things that aren't serving us. Maybe the way you handle money isn't serving you. If you start acting in love, you'll start wanting to think, how can I bring love to my money? How can I bring love to my, financial situation? How can I look at this differently from a place of power? How can I welcome in more abundance? So we start thinking differently as we start to think with love, and it starts with you. We can say, be compassionate to other people, accept everybody, regardless of their, their sexual orientation or their race or their culture, their religion. their likes, their dislikes, their heights, their whatever. We can say that, right? Be compassionate, all encompassing. But if you're not starting with you, you will find judgments. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be judgmental against somebody's race. It doesn't mean that that's naturally going to happen if you don't love yourself. But it means that you'll judge people more. You'll judge what other people are saying, the way they look. It'll matter to you more, those things, because you're not starting with yourself. So start with yourself. Start by looking at yourself, something that is so powerful that some people are not always, oh, thank you, Veronica. Some people are not always ready for. Look at yourself in the mirror. Take a moment to stand really close to yourself and look. Look at the little hairs in your eyebrows. Look at the different depth to your eye color, the different flecks of things in there. Look at the shape of your nose, where your hairline starts, where you have cute little freckles. Look at yourself and appreciate it like you are the only one that looks this way. You are a gift. You are perfect because you're you. If we all feel like we don't fit in, if we all feel like we're not perfect, like we should be taller, should be this, should be that, then it really means that we're all worth it because we're all just different, right? No otter is laying around stressed that they don't look like the other otter. They're not going, oh, my fur pattern is totally off, because they are just much more intuitive and instinctual. They kind of don't have probably that level of consciousness, maybe, or judgment. But you think, what a peaceful life to just know that your fur pattern is good enough and is perfect, and you are you for a reason. So that's the biggest thing I really would love you to just start to do, is take some time with yourself. It doesn't have to be hours. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but look at yourself in the mirror. Something I love to do is, as I'm washing my face at night or brushing my teeth, I bring my attention to it. So I'm washing my face, scrub my face, and as I'm rinsing it off, I'm thinking like every inch I'm getting like the soap off with every inch, and rubbing with a face cloth like on every inch, like I honor myself. When I'm in the shower and I'm soaping or something, instead of just like I'm thinking like, oh, okay, like my arm is so beautiful, and just like looking at all the parts of me as I'm soaping, like right in between my fingers and between your toes, and taking those moments to honor yourself. So looking in the mirror at yourself, if it's something that calls to you, and just looking at yourself and going, wow, you've been through a lot. You have had a lot of good days and a lot of bad days, and you have survived. You have come out the other side. There were things that at the time you thought you couldn't bear, you couldn't face, you couldn't get through, and you got through them. There's times when you didn't know how to handle this situation, or you felt like you screwed up so bad you didn't even know how you'd ever recover, and you did. There was times where you felt lost and you became found in that thing. There are times when you felt like it was a rock bottom and you realized that it cracked you open to what was next. So really try not to be too hard on yourself with the things that you've done and the things you haven't done and where your life has gone and what you've done, because it's all been perfect. And when you start to look at it in love, you start to see that those things shaped you. Those things you learned from. I learned that lying does not feel good when I was about 8 years old, and I straight up lied to my mom and I got busted, and it was the worst feeling in the world. It was scary. She had crutches at the time because she had sprained her leg, and we lived with this long hallway, and she found out what I had done and lied, and she came trotting down the hallway limping with these crutches, and as this little girl was like, it's never worth it to lie, oh my God. So even in an adult version, what you do that you screw up or you wish you did that different, it's all for you. So you learn, this feels good, this doesn't feel good, definitely not going to hang out with them again, definitely going to listen to my gut instinct next time when I hear that voice. So remember, it's not you walking through life screwing it up. It's you learning. And the sooner you see that you're worth the love, that you are just an organic being and you're doing your best and shit happens, it allows you to move forward in a different way. It allows you to let go in a different way. When people, someone expresses something that's going on that's stressful and people go, oh my goodness, oh, I don't know. Oh, well, I really hope it works out. And the person kind of goes, yeah, I'm sure it'll work out. Like people do that sometimes with me where they look at me and they kind of go, how are you okay with this? And it's like, well, I don't know, but like, we'll see, I'll figure it out when I get there. I trust in that. Try to adapt that behavior just even a little bit. So, so with self-love, you're going to try new things. It's going to unlock your potential to help people, to spend self-love time on yourself, to be creative, to paint, to dance, to sing, to express yourself. Self-love is going to change your posture. It has you stand up straight and take better care of your body. It has you want to nourish your body instead of punishing it. Dysfunction fades out of your life when you start to love yourself because the things that aren't working stick out like a sore thumb. So instead of trying to heal and fix the stuff that's not working, if we focus on love, it naturally pushes out the things we've been wanting to heal. And there's things that have happened in my life that I didn't like, things that were a focus of negativity, a focus of like, this is not working, I have to fix this somehow. And just by focusing on love and forgiveness and compassion more in my life, just more often, they've faded out. Like things that caused me anxiety and trauma just faded out. I never even had to go to work on them because I just realized like that's not working. Attaching to that isn't working. Being controlled by this isn't working. Being anxious about this isn't working for me. I don't want this. I want love, right? So just remember that it will change the way you do life. So you got to. It's our birthright. A child, you would never just give them crap for the things they liked. Oh, you chose purple crayon? Well, that's pretty dumb. Oh, you fell down learning to walk? That's stupid. But we do that to ourselves. We go, why'd you choose this? Why'd you do that? Why'd you say that? And it does damage to our soul, to our spirit, to the flow of the universe, to everything that we want to create in our life and how good we want to feel. Talking like that, being like that, it does create damage. It's time to love yourself for everything that you are. And something Mike Dooley says, I don't know if you've heard of Mike Dooley, but he always says, do the best you can with what you've got with where you are. That's all it is. That's love. That's self-love. It's just doing the best for yourself with what you can do. I'm not saying you need to go out and have a spa day if you can't afford it, or need to change careers just because, your heart's calling you to. Yes, you can move in that way, but right now you can do something. You can go rest. You can go meditate. You could take a drink of water. You could, instead of after work today, instead of going straight home, you could drive along the ocean or through the forest and get out and touch a tree. Take a breath of forest air because it would make you feel good. Because who cares? This is what it's about, making you feel good. We're just trying to feel good. So before I go, I want to give you 2 more points. One is about how we can reverse negative self-talk. Just one really quick exercise you can do. And the next thing is just what can you do to, like physically, what can you do to increase your self-love? So the first thing is about the self-talk. That's the way we talk to ourselves. I think it's Gabby Bernstein has a great saying, be careful how you talk about yourself. You're the only one listening. And I thought that's so great. We just go off in our mind about how dumb and ugly and this and weak and lost and broken we are. Whereas if we just take a moment to think, maybe I'm not all those things. Maybe the problem has been that I've been thinking that. Maybe that's the missing piece, and it is. P.S. It is the missing piece. Because as you change the way you're thinking about yourself, you're no longer dumb and weak and scared. You are brave and strong and smart and more capable than you know. So how do we switch around that negative self-talk? The best thing that you can do, first step is being aware of it, is noticing as it comes up. And then as you get comfy with that, or if you're already comfy with noticing the self-talk, try as best you can. Again, do what you can from where you are. But the goal is to detach the emotion from it. So if I'm standing in front of people doing a workshop and I have a thought of like, I hope I don't look fat up here. I hope I look inspiring enough. I got to be healthy and all this stuff. I'll detach the emotion and go, that's funny. It's because I'm bold. It's because I'm doing something new. It's because I'm doing something nerve-wracking, getting up in front of people, doing a workshop, being a leader, being a teacher. Of course, my ego is going to come in and be like, oh. So I detach instead of going, yeah, I hope I don't look fat. I kind of go, that's a weird comment to think out of nowhere. Hi, Veronica. I just think that's a weird comment to come out of nowhere. So the best thing I think that you can really do is to see your thought, witness it. When you hear, you're not smart enough to do that, you're not capable enough to do that, that'll never work. Try to detach the emotion, because the emotion is actually the center of what gets us in trouble and the center of what creates the life we want. If you know about law of attraction, which is something I teach about passionately, the emotion behind is what we're actually going for. So if we detach the emotion out of that negative thought and go, that's kind of weird, why would that creep up? Am I stressed? Am I second guessing? Is this somewhere I could maybe feel insecure? What is it? Why is that emotion coming up? And then just ask yourself, this is great. Is it true? And is it helpful? This is so great because it will eliminate your self-talk. So if I'm in front of people and I'm going, I hope I don't look fat, hope I don't look bulgy because I want to be inspiring and show people they can change their lives. I detach the emotion and I go, is it true? And is it helpful? Is it true? I hope I don't look fat. I don't know. I don't know if it's true. Like, I can't say it's true because I don't know. So right there, not true. I don't know. And the second one is it helpful? Definitely not helpful. If someone else was running a workshop and I'm like, hopefully you don't look fat. Be aware if you look fat. Maybe you look fat. Like, that would not help them. That would be really awkward, really inappropriate, and not in love. So, when you think that negative self-talk, think, is it true and is it helpful? So simple. Any thought. If you're stressed about money, the end of the month, or a bill in the mail, think, is it true that I'm going to be homeless if I pay this bill, or this is going to make or break me? This is going to send me into financial ruin. It's sort of like your brain goes all crazy. Is it true? Well, I've always figured it out before. We've all had unexpected bills or car maintenance that creeps up or taxes that surprise us, and you've gotten through it before. So is it true that it's going to make or break you? And is it helpful? When a bill comes, is like, oh, helpful? Is, oh my God, it's going to ruin us? Helpful? Or is, let's figure out how we can pay this. Let's see if we can do installments. Let's see if we can borrow money. Let's see if we have overdraft. Let's see if we can take it out of our savings. That is helpful. That's just a solution. That's trying to find a solution. So negative self-talk, detach the emotion. Is it true? Is it helpful? And my last part is what I recommend you do to bring self-love into your life to change it now. First of all, it's honoring your needs. One example that I use is sometimes I'll notice, I'll be walking around and my feet are freezing and I think, oh, I should really get socks. Okay, but I'm vacuuming now, or after I do yoga, or after I do the dishes. I'm like, but my feet really hurt. I should really get some socks on. Oh, after I do this for the kids, or after lunch. And sometimes I just stop and go, put the damn socks on. I go upstairs and I get my socks and I go, that feels better. That's what self-love is. It's simple. It's honoring your needs. Are you tired? Are you thirsty? Are you stressed? Do you need support? Do you need inspiration? Do you need community? Do you need togetherness? Do you need help? If you need help, be open to it. I will help you. We will help you. People around you will help you. Are you thirsty? Do you need, a bit more, like, higher nutrition? What do you need? Do you need, like I mentioned, rest? Do you need to recoup? Do you need to stop pushing so hard? Do you need to let go? Do you need to create an exit plan? Do you need to learn a new perspective? What do you need? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Anything. What are your needs? What do you need? That's the biggest thing that we look at with self-love. And as we think, what do we need? Do I need a me day? Do I need some alone time? Do I need to go to this workshop I've been really wanting to go? Do I need to write the book that's in me? What do I need to do? And start moving in the direction of those things. The other thing that is just, if you've worked with me, you know that I talk about this. The physical things that you can do it's so fun. What makes you feel good? Painting, biking, architecture, volunteering, spending time with your kids, hugging a kitten, going to the nature reserve, on a hike, redecorating, painting your office, decluttering, hiring a housekeeper, getting a pet, hugging your mom. What makes you feel good? Do that. After I'm done this, I'm going to stop and ask myself, after I've done this video, what do I need to do now? What would feel good? And I bought some bath stuff and Epsom salts, so I think I'm going to go have a bath after. What would feel good? Not what do I have to do? What should I do? What will feel good? So that's the first thing. And then also, what makes you feel excited? It's like if I could do that, almost excitedly indulgent, like, ooh, if I went to this workshop or did this retreat, or if I got a new desk, or if I got a new chair for my office, or if I got that new computer I know I need, what feels good and feels a little bit like, woo, that would be indulgent. That would make you feel, the word is abundant. What would make you feel abundant, and do that? So have your back. Talk to yourself in love. Realize that you are innately worth it. You are somebody with gifts to share. We need your light. And the more negatively you talk to yourself, the more you let yourself get away with in that way, life will be harder. If you start focusing on self-love, it will change your life, your posture, your relationships, your clarity, your perspective, your health, your life. You got this.